back to my early 2000s. I know, man. It's weird and it's different this time, but welcome back. This is our show. Do you want me to just do it again because you fucked me up?
Sorry.
No, it's the show. This is the show.
This is what we have.
What is it?
This is my early 2000s.
Oh, I'm your host, Will. Who are you?
I'm your other host, Daniel.
This is the show where we talk about the loved and lost movies of the early 2000s.
A bi-weekly challenge that we created to rekindle the passion those films gave us and the spark that brought us to the industry in the first place.
And just like every episode, we like to start things off with a liquid. Usually it's beer. This time it's not a beer. Daniel, why don't you tell us what we're drinking?
This time we're drinking wine. What? Wine.
Well,
what?
we watched Sideways.
We watched Sideways. It's a wine movie. If you haven't seen it. So we thought it was appropriate to drink wine. So
we've got them poured in these nice Game of Thrones glasses.
They're Game of Thrones wine glasses.
One of them went through the dishwasher apparently, and it is no longer. It doesn't have a house. I have Mother of Dragons. Who do you have?
I have some kind of Rudolph reindeer type thing.
I don't remember that house.
I don't know. It's like a reindeer.
So what is this? What are we drinking again?
Oh, we're drinking a Pinot Noir. From Josh Cellars along the central coast of California.
Just from Josh, the guy named Josh.
It's called Josh Cellars. This wine is called Josh. It's cursive.
Hey, Josh, thanks for the wine.
Hey, I'm going to taste it. Wait, we got to do it like they do in the movie. Big sniff.
Oh, put your nose in it?
What am I getting?
Wine.
There's like a citrusy something, maybe a hint of terra firma.
That's an Entourage joke, you jackass. I'm going to give it a try because I can't smell anything. If you can't tell already, I'm sick as fuck. I've been really, really sick. The flu came and destroyed me.
And it is lucky for all of us that you can't get the flu through your ears.
Yeah, usually.
From a podcast, because you would all have it now.
That's not true. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been better. I'm going to sip this
wine.
I
can't smell anything.
I still haven't drank this.
Well, that's what
it's got a nice winey smell. I don't know.
It smells like church. Let's go for it.
All right, let's drink. I don't know shit about wine, but that's lovely.
You're not supposed to drink acidic things when you're sick, huh? I don't know.
It's wine.
Yeah,
it's ancient, dude.
It's ancient.
It's like
from before.
Yeah.
When they used to die when they were 15.
This is pre-medicine. This is pre-Western.
This is prednisone.
This is prednisone. Coming to a pharmacy?
Prednisone, not prednisone.
I don't know. I had
prednisone sounded like a friendly ranch.
Prednisone is what I thought you were thinking of.
I was thinking of a ranch.
I don't know if you've taken that. That hurts. It made me crazy.
Do you like this wine?
Yeah, I like the wine. We're really on it tonight. The wine's good. We've got Game of Thrones glasses.
The wine's good. That says your review. You just talk. Oh, I smell all these fucking. It's good.
It's got a little bit of a bitter grapiness quality. I hear the Pinot from this movie. I'm an expert after I watched this movie.
Did you go and look up a lot of shit about wine after this movie?
Nothing.
But you definitely wanted to drink it.
Definitely. I did drink it after I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right after?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't drink a fancy wine. I drank a shitty happy hour wine.
Good for you, man.
You know, I needed it.
I know.
I haven't wanted wine in a long time. I've been really craving beer for like months and months and months. But after that movie, it like sparked my passion.
You're back?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Back on the wine.
I want to go. We should go up the coast and do one of these sideways trips.
Sure, let's do it. Let's just wait till I'm better. I'm going to switch back to tea.
You're going to do the tea. Lame!
So what movie did we watch this week, Daniel?
Well, we watched Sideways.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier. If you weren't listening, we watched Sideways. Not front ways, not back ways, but sideways. That is a movie.
Had you seen this film before? Well, I guess you owned it.
I did own it. I seen it a long time ago.
Okay.
Like probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've never seen this film.
You never saw it?
Yeah. I don't know why, but the cover art always freaked me out. Everyone's faces are incredibly photoshopped on the DVD art. I don't know why. I've never thought of Sideways as plot, but I very distinctly remember that cover.
The case.
And it's just terrifying for some reason. No one looks like a person.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like wax figures.
Well,
did you like it back then, though?
I did love it back then, actually. I always like had a positive view of that movie in my mind.
How did you like come to find that film? Were your parents like already a fan of it? Because I know it's based on a book.
I have no idea.
Were you a fan of the book?
No, I never knew there was a book till today. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how I own it.
Interesting.
I have no idea why I watched
that blockbuster blowout that you do.
It must be, yeah, because I do own it and I've seen it. I don't remember if I watched it with my parents. Like, I don't remember anything. I remembered the movie.
Yeah, it just seems like a film that could only be introduced by parents.
Yeah, because I definitely would have watched it before I was like legally able to drink wine.
Yeah.
I always loved wine movies. There's another one called Bottle Shock or something like that with Alan Rickman. I love that. I just like movies about wine. I like things about wine.
I don't think I would have in 2004.
Yeah, no, I don't know back then because we were like 14 years
Yeah.
old. But I think I probably watched it in like 2008.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably.
As you were getting curious of what kind of an alcoholic you were going to become.
Exactly. Yeah, am I gonna be a wine alcoholic?
Am I going to
whiskey?
be a classy piece of shit?
It turns out I'm
Bud Light.
It turns out I'm just all of them.
Oh, great.
Just give me booze.
That just is an alcoholic. Great.
Oh, just a normal one. Base. So,
But yeah, it came out in 2004.
Yeah, it came out in 2004. It's been a long time since then, and it feels like that. I was gonna go into the director thing.
Oh yeah, back to the wine though. I'm going to try it again.
Try the wine again. I'm gonna talk about the director.
It's colder than my tea.
That's
It's weird to go back between hot and cold.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have a weird... Am I going to get high?
Do you know what high is? Are you...
Who's this directed by?
It's directed by Alexander Payne. You might know him from other movies, including
he's
The
done a lot.
Descendants, Nebraska.
It seems like
Downsizing?
all of his films are about not very extraordinary people having a kind of whatever experience the movie.
Yeah.
Every place.
Yeah.
And that's not like a bad thing. He just likes to tell small vignette stories, it feels like.
It seems like, especially in this movie,
Yeah.
it's not like a...
I don't really remember Nebraska, though.
I really did not like that movie. I
okay.
I actually fell asleep. I can't even nap, and I fell asleep in the theater.
I thought it was kind of
During that
sweet,
movie.
but like I don't remember why any of it needed to happen.
Yeah. I loved The Descendants.
Yeah.
That's a really fun film. I just love like the amount of stuff they gave that character in I know we're not reviewing The Descendants, but still, like, they gave that character, George Clooney's character, so much. Like, he was this guy whose wife was cheating on him, but she was also in a coma, and like he had kids, and like he had to just like deal with all of this stuff that he was finding out.
I'd also argue it's like also like a really tiny story though too. Like
It
you
was.
you could look at like any pocket of the world and
Yeah.
find stories just like
It
that.
wasn't like a big. It just happened to be juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also happened to look really great in Hawaii.
Yes. And George Clooney.
Doesn't hurt. That's Silver Fox.
It was written by Alexander Payne and Jim Taylor, and the book is by Rex Pickett. That's what
Okay.
it's based off of. It stars Paul Giamatti, Thomas.
and you said
Yeah.
you hadn't read the book?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
even,
so we don't know how much is book and how much is film.
I just found out that there was a book.
I feel like
today.
we're very prepared.
We're really prepared. This is called a movie podcast. It's not called a book and movie podcast.
You're right. Keep drinking.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti is a star. Thomas Hayden Church is in this. Sandra Oh is in this. Virginia
I
Madsen
fucking
in
love
this.
her in this.
There's that girl who plays Susan on Friends. She's in
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Carol's lesbian wife. Ross's arch nemesis.
And it's his ex-wife.
Oh my God. Why does she always break up great things?
I don't know. Like her and Miles were never supposed to be together, man.
That's true. Neither was Ross and Carol.
Yeah. So there you
So,
go.
thank you,
She's
Susan.
actually bringing characters together to where they should be. She's shaping the world.
She's one of those.
Yes.
She's one of those. Okay. Speaking of worlds to shape, this movie was nominated for Oscars. We don't normally have that on this podcast.
Well, I guess you wanted to do an Oscar-related film because it is the Oscars this weekend. It's the Oscars tomorrow. So
Tomorrow, we are going to watch the Oscars.
we're excited to see and celebrate cinema this year. So we wanted to take a look back at something that was almost celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to give it to an actual winner of Best Picture, but someone that came close.
Yeah.
I did see that this won the Golden Globe Best Picture, though, for
Comedy, though.
Yeah, so
It's an easier
an
category.
interesting dive for sure, just to like take a look back at something that at one point was considered art and maybe isn't or is now.
Yeah. I really love when the Oscars nominate movies like this for Best Picture.
Uh-huh.
I'm a big fan. Like Jerry Maguire was nominated for Best Picture. This,
Right.
like, you just don't see
I
it
love
very
Jerry
often.
Maguire,
I love it too. But you don't see movies that are light. Even though the main character is going through a hard time, it's a light movie. It's
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
it's comedy. ish,
You take Paul Giamatti out and it's kind of like a Sunday
like
matinee.
It's not. There's nothing crazy about it,
Right.
And so I love, and it's so beautiful and like in many ways, and it's a great. It is a really nice film to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad it was nominated for Best Picture. It also got some other nominations. It did win an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay. So it was, and it is a great script. And Thomas Hayden Church, Virginia Madsen were also nominated.
I just wonder how much is the book and how much is the script.
I don't know.
And we gotta look into that. Someone comment.
Alexander Payne did get nominated for Best Director as well. So this is our Oscar pick of the year of 2018.
This is our Oscar pick.
Well, this isn't our Oscar pick.
It's our pick for the Oscar season.
This is the My Early 2000s pick for the past Oscars that we're highlighting this weekend, this Oscar weekend.
Say that 10 times fast.
What did I say? Nominations.
Okay, so like we said at the top, though, you had seen this film before. You enjoyed it somewhat, but did you say you loved it? Like you loved this film, or it was just, it's a nice film. I like it.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day. Are you talking about today or back in then?
Back then.
Back then. Really liked it.
How do you feel about it now?
I really like it.
So literally the same.
It's the same. I would say it's definitely more a developed like for it.
Sure. It's very word heavy, so I kind of knew you were gonna love it.
I love word heavy movies. And I love the characters in it.
You love like writer focused pieces though as well. Like things about struggling, just hard on the page type people. Like that's what you love the best.
I do. Yeah. I'm very into that. And I do have like this romantic or a romanticized thing about wine.
Okay.
There is like a romantic thing of that to me. I like in my head I would love to.
There's definitely something very cinematic about wine.
Yeah,
the way that it pours, the way that you serve it, what it does to people in a scene, what you can do with people in a scene with wine is so interesting usually because it can be soft and sweet, or it can be really just strong and powerful, but kind of the movement and the tone of the room is the same, but what you can do with it is so interesting.
Yes, absolutely. It is a very of the alcoholic beverages, it's very temperamental and it's very sweet, and but it does have its power, and
I'd say that's where the strengths in this film really are for me, is when they kind of balance those undertones of how important the wine is and who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I really found strengths and love for this film. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little ambiguous for me.
Okay. What do you mean by ambiguous?
It kind of, it ends where it starts a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it asked a bigger question and then sort of ended flatter than I was expecting it to be, but in some ways that was the point of it. So
it's kind of just like a slice of life piece almost,
but not even so much that it didn't have a meaning to being ambiguous. The ambiguousness was the great question to it all, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was the point of the film, was to be like that. It wasn't to be just ambiguous slice of life. It was to really just make you want to wonder.
I like that. And it does. That's kind of the beauty of this film, is like you kind of there's not a lot going on, but like there's a lot going on. The first 18
minutes, I fucking hate everyone. Everyone is so shitty to each other. No one cares about each other, and you're just like, why are these guys friends?
Right, yeah.
Why does Jack hang out with Miles at all?
Right.
Miles is stealing money from... Maybe we should synopsis this a little bit, but...
Anyway, it's about a struggling writer.
He's a teacher at the top.
He's a teacher.
I think I missed that, and then they came back to it at the end. So my interpretation was he turned into a teacher, but no, he was a teacher.
He had written a manuscript which he was trying to get published.
Right, exactly.
He's also 2 years post-divorce, but hasn't really gotten over it.
No, he's very much in a depression.
This is Paul Giamatti's character.
Right. His name is Miles.
Miles,
in the film.
yeah. So Miles is taking Jack, who is played by Thomas Hayden Church, out on a little road trip.
Jack's getting married
the
next
couple
week.
days before his wedding. So
Right.
it's essentially like a bachelor trip, but it is a trip.
It's the weirdest bachelor trip I've ever.
Yeah, it's
fucking
very
seen.
strange, but it's clear that that Miles loves wine, has a deep affinity for wine. He even says something right at the top, like, "It's been so long we've been wanting to do this."
Yeah.
It just happens to be for Jack's kind of bachelor-ish type thing. And so what they're doing is they're traveling up the coast. They never make it to Napa. I don't know if that's their intent.
I don't think that was the point.
It was just to go to Central Coast.
Right, yeah.
So they ended up in Los
Well, 'cause
Olivos.
isn't that like Pinot capital though? Because everything's about Pinot in this
Yeah.
film, so I really don't know enough about Napa or wine.
He just said it in the car when we get up to wine country, and I always like think wine country as Napa.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of wine in the Central Coast,
right.
but
Maybe this is the other one.
yeah. So Los Olivos is where they stay, which is where Neverland is.
Before they get there, though,
yeah.
we kind of get to see how selfish Miles is. Maybe not selfish, but sort of like self-absorbed, and he doesn't really notice how selfish he's being.
Yeah.
They make stops along the way. He didn't really try to leave on time in the morning.
Right.
He
was
very, very
hungover.
late. He pulls off the road so they're already late for this trip. They're off to a bad start. And he stops along the way at his mom's house for whatever. He says it's her birthday tomorrow all of a
Right.
sudden.
Right.
Could have told your friend that maybe.
Yeah.
Something planned it a little better. But he's got another motive. He's not really there for her. We see them hang out there for a little bit, but he steals money from her like he's a kid still.
Yeah.
It's really yucky.
Shitty. Yeah. And then
they hit the road and
hit the
finally
road.
finally hit wine country.
And basically, once they kind of reach their destination, we're learning that Jack kind of wants to have a last affair before his wedding, and Miles hasn't been with anyone since his wife. He's still deeply depressed over that. He's on medication because of that. He's definitely an alcoholic or borderline. He's abusing alcohol for sure.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the film, it looks like he had just like barely parked his car, and then he just moves it.
Yeah.
To make it not look as awkward and shitty.
Yeah.
He's dealing with it.
He's dealing with
Xanax in one hand and wine in the
Lexapro,
other.
Yeah, exactly. So he's definitely in a bad spot, and so they both have kind of different motives, you know.
And no one's really being honest with each other.
Yeah, Miles wants to take Jack on this kind of wine trip to show him the finer things.
But he doesn't. He wants to be verified. He wants to be validated that like he is this special guy that knows these special things, and he's gonna get his book published. But he doesn't want Jack to tell him that his book is gonna get published, because that feels like a dad talking to his kid, and he's got this weird father complex.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's a strange character.
He's very strange, and Jack is also kind of self-motivated in that he wants to have an affair, or he wants to kind of have a last fling, but he also seems to be concerned about Miles and trying to push him on, being like, yo, that was 2 years ago. She's married. She's this, and so he's doing everything he can to kind of push him along past this depression.
He's just a simple guy, though, so I feel like he's just doing that because he thinks that's what he's supposed to do. I don't know.
He does ulterior motives.
I don't know that he has other motives as much as like he just doesn't even think that far. He's like, well, I want to have a good time this weekend. This is what I'm supposed to say to make it happen, so I'll just say it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad friend. I think he's just a simple friend.
He is, and he's selfish, but so is Miles.
Yeah.
They're both super selfish.
Yeah.
So anyway, eventually they do meet these women who Miles already knows one of them. She's a waitress at this restaurant. We clearly know that, like, he comes up here often.
Yeah, she knows a lot about him as soon as she starts talking. Her name's Maya, right?
Maya, yeah, exactly.
And it's like this
this
beam
is
of
played
hope.
Virginia Madsen's part.
Right.
Yeah.
It's this beam of hope in this restaurant, and you see him light up like a fucking Christmas tree, and it's the first time you've seen him, other than wine, be spiked of interest, be interested in something.
So Jack meets a girl, Stephanie.
Stephanie is a lot of fun.
She's a lot of fun.
But also, like Jack, very basic and kind of selfish in that weird, reckless way,
Yes.
where they're not really thinking about
They don't think too much.
Well, just not about consequences in the same way.
Yeah.
That Miles and Maya seem to.
Which is very telling in the scenes when they kind of go on this double date, and they all go back to Stephanie's house, and Stephanie and Miles, or Stephanie and Jack,
they just straight up
immediately.
fuck. Yeah.
And Maya and Miles are having like
the most
conversation.
Awkward fucking.
Yeah,
they're having conversation, but like
awkward.
I've recognized these moments before. The like one of your friends is hooking up while the other friend, and you're just hanging out in the other room, and it's super fucking awkward, and just it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
But they also have a certain tension.
They do, but it's the tension is also with the expectation, I think, more so than if it had just been the two of them, because they've got the others fucking in the other room.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are we supposed to do?
Right.
And thankfully it doesn't go that way. They just sort of like ballet dance each other and do-si-do into this weird, wonderful conversation outside.
They have this really great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that scene.
Because she's very interested in his novel. Jack lied and said that his novel's getting published, even though they don't know that. So she's very interested in what Miles has in store.
Yeah.
And he's got fucking nothing. So he's got that weighing on him as well. And he's got to tell her about it.
Yeah.
And she just...
He feels like a fraud.
Yeah, and she kind of liked the answer, but it was still like there was something closed off about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I can't get this motherfucker to talk to me unless it's about wine.
Yeah.
And then he just lights up. So why Pinot? Why Pinot, Miles? Tell me about that at least.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the last like 15 minutes of the film, he seems like he's in control.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene, and he does open up finally. You see kind of this romance in him, and you also see like his fear of knowing he kind of wants her, but guilt, and he doesn't know even how to. He feels like such a fraud and such a loser that he doesn't even want to act on it, and then he eventually excuses himself, goes to the bathroom, tries to kiss her. She doesn't want it because it's kind of like the moment's passed.
Yeah, the moment's gone now.
Yeah. He should have done it. She grabbed his hand. He should have done it.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. I think I actually screamed at my television at that moment.
Is that
was maybe the moment.
Man.
Where I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, Miles?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Kiss her on the lips.
Just kiss the girl. Go on and kiss the girl.
I don't know. There's this like wonderful, there's that question up at the top. When he's picking Jack up from his fiance's house or his fiance's parents' house or whatever, and they ask him, what do you like better, the light or the dark cake? And it's so interesting because like usually Miles is so specific of what he likes, but he didn't really know which cake he wanted.
Right.
If he was going to be pressed, he'd pick the dark because that's what he knows.
Yeah.
And it feels like Maya is the light cake that he's sort of like, I don't know if I want that, but I'm going to stick with what I know. And that's what my fucking problem is. And that's why I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And there's this weird back and forth of light and dark. Like they talk about it with the grapes at the beginning. I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know if it really resolves or pans out, but I kept seeing that imagery and those words being thrown around. And it was really interesting with everything he was trying to decide in this
That's
film.
interesting. It's crazy that you found that light and dark cake.
It wasn't until later that I really thought
that
about
you thought
it,
about
yeah.
it. That's
I don't know if I really thought about it when I was watching it, but
I those first like 10 minutes of the film, I was kind of just settling in.
Yeah.
And I had a few things to do, and I kind of thought I could do both. And so it took me 10 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do this other thing. I have to just watch this movie.
Yeah.
And so I missed some things until the car ride with Thomas Hayden with Jack.
I mean, that's when the movie really starts.
That's when the movie
starts.
starts.
It gets fun and we understand
and
what's
then
happening.
I was kind of like, oh, okay. I saw brief glimpses of this, but I wasn't catching. I was missing things, which I
actually went back and rewatched the beginning. When I
probably
was
should have done
because
that.
Because
there's not really much talking. It's kind of just life as we know it. It's very.
And that's why I thought it's probably more important than I realized.
Yeah.
And I went back because I've been sick. I wasn't really paying attention. I think I was settling in just like you because it was like, what the fuck is this? Is this a comedy? Is it a drama? I don't know what it is. I don't know if I care.
Right.
And now that I know that I kind of care about these characters, I really wanted to see what was happening up there.
Yeah.
And that question of what he really wants. He doesn't want any other wines. He doesn't want that thick skin wine. He wants a thin, frail thing like him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he was like when he was vulnerable with her. and when he was vulnerable about all his feelings and finally told her that he didn't get published and all these things that he was doing to impress her were a lie. You know, even the title cards. I remember Thursday was the first time that, because throughout the film they're saying like Saturday
Sunday,
Monday,
yeah,
all
right,
that
whatever,
shit.
yeah.
Whatever the order of the week is that week's coming.
Who knows? They change
but
every
they're all
week.
on black title cards, right?
Yes.
Except for Thursday, the morning he wakes up after fucking Maya. That's the first light day he has.
Oh, what is the title card on Thursday?
It's like her apartment. Like
it's just over his...
It's over picture.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me.
Whoa.
I guess I look for things like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to the gag of like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're telling a story in days and title cards. And I just found it so interesting that one of them was not on black.
That's really, really interesting. I didn't even catch that. I didn't catch all of the title cards though. I don't think. You know, it's one of those things. I don't know if you're the same way. When I watch movies, I'm watching.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll check my phone, check Instagram.
Sure. I don't for this though, because we talk about it. I don't want to sound like an idiot.
I still do because my attention span isn't that long.
Yeah.
But it impresses me, and I notice when like I've been looking at the TV for a long time and not checking my phone.
Good for you, dude.
I notice that stuff because it just doesn't happen often unless I'm in a theater.
Did you feel like you did that for this film? Yeah, I put my phone away.
It really, towards the last like 45 minutes, I was like glued.
Super hooked.
Yeah. Right. I really, and you know what? It felt long. Like the movie felt long.
It did.
But I was still, and I knew it wasn't really going anywhere. But I still really liked the characters, and I'm like into it.
Yeah,
I'm there. You know, I'm living this life with them, and I'm happy living that. Even though I know there's not going to be a big finish. You know.
See, I really didn't know. I hadn't seen the film before, so the whole time I was like, how are they ending this? Does he get his book published? Please let it not get published because that's boring.
Yeah,
and then it doesn't, and things happen and everything devolves and Stephanie finds out that Jack's getting married and it's this big blow up and everything doesn't turn out okay.
Yeah.
And then they just go home and go back to how things are normal.
And then they leave it like maybe he's going to get with that girl, with Maya.
Well, it's like that conversation they have before Pinot Noir when he's talking about that one. I forget what the bottle is. It's a 61 something.
Cheval or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be important. It's peaking. It's about to be the best that it is, and it may be too late.
Right.
And that's kind of what it was like at the end with her. Is it too late?
Yeah.
Is she opened up now? Is it peaking?
Right.
Because now she's read the book and she truly understands? I don't know.
I mean, that's interesting, actually. I wouldn't have thought of it like that. You're definitely reading into this movie way more than I did.
That's what the visual told me. Yeah. This was so specific every time. It was just, I don't know what the budget was on this film.
16 million.
It just looked so bare bones for some reason. And every time they showed me a shot, it felt like the cuts mattered and they wanted to show me something. They were never doing coverage. The only time it ever felt like that was that very montagey scene of the double date. Every other time it was really long, meaningful takes with the actors.
So they were sticking to like wide shots?
Not necessarily. It's just they weren't. It wasn't doing what this era of film usually does,
really?
Which is so heavily just barraged of coverage. Just every type of close up, every type of angle, just because we fucking have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. I loved in this movie these like little vignettes that happened, which is kind of interesting to call them vignettes when we're talking about vines and we're talking about wine, you know?
Gross. I hate you.
But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it. But there are these like little moments where they're just driving and then we're showing how wine's being made and there's some music playing and it's just kind of life.
Yeah.
Or there's like the time when they're having a picnic or they're, you know, like there's these little moments paired with music that are
I love when he
really
teaches him how to drink wine.
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
at the very top.
It's
you know?
so great.
I feel like that's one of those scenes.
It's
you're kind
really just like it's a nothing scene, but it
It's
shows
pretty
you.
funny, though.
And it also
Jack's fucking chewing
'cause
gum the whole time.
He's chewing gum, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just swallows the wine.
Yeah.
And like he asks him, "How did you like it?" And he's still tasting it in his
Yeah,
mouth, you know. He's still like swishing it around. You know?
Yeah.
Are you chewing gum? It's a great little scene, but it also shows so much about Miles in that little bit to be like he's so particular.
Yeah.
He's very knowledgeable. He has a great palate.
But he's also just so specific. He's
Yeah.
very, I don't know if maybe he's closed off. He just knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants.
And Jack,
In wine.
And Jack, but in women too. You know, he's after one woman. Jack's trying to fuck every girl that
Yeah.
comes on screen.
Yeah.
And he also just drinks every wine like it's the best wine. He's just like, whatever, I'm fucking happy.
Yeah.
Miles can't do that. I don't know why, but he cannot be satisfied like that.
Particular. He's very. What's the word? I'm making gestures.
No,
with my
I know.
hand,
I tried to find that
but you
word too, and
can't.
I didn't find it, so I moved
I've
on to
lost
Jack.
it. I've lost it. It's gone. It's gone. Like this wine in my glass.
Do you want more wine? I can pour you more wine.
Maybe I do.
Okay.
Josh. Something that kind of really got me, and it's
I'm so sorry.
you fucking coughed right
I'm
in the
so
middle of
sorry.
my story.
You were so passionate.
One of the reasons that I feel that this movie was like nominated for an Oscar and is regarded, and I still hear about this film sometimes.
Really?
Not like
Okay.
in terms of the greatest film of all time, but it was
Just like an old
remembered.
people's home?
Yeah, and it kind of feels very indie, even though it had $16 million budget.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, it really does.
feels like this indie film of,
Yeah.
that like the little engine that could. You know, it made $109 million worldwide. It did well. It did fine. Its opening weekend was very limited, 209,000, but it did very well.
Yeah.
It has a 7.5 on IMDb. Not that means anything, but still, like, one of the things that I think makes this film is that there's so many little moments along the way that you're like, okay, the book. He's going to get his book published at the
Yeah.
end. Okay, he's going to grab that bottle of Cheval 61
Yeah.
and drive to Los Olivos
I
and
love
take
that
it to
he
her
just has it in that fucking
in that diner.
in that it's
in
not
like-
even a
not even a
diner. It's like
diner.
a fast food
Burger
shitty
joint.
knockoff, and
Yeah.
he drinks it out of a fucking styrofoam cup.
Yeah.
It's probably too late. It probably doesn't taste as good as
But
it
he's
should.
drinking it and he's like hiding it
Yeah.
and he's drinking it alone in his tux.
Yeah.
And you would think that all these things are going to happen. You think that, okay,
None of it matters,
it's going
I
to end
guess.
out well. He's going to do this grand gesture. And that kind of almost brings it into romantic comedy territory if he
Yeah.
does those things. But he doesn't, which is in line with the movie.
Yeah.
Because he's a sad man. And it is hard to watch.
He's his own worst enemy, basically.
He's his own
I don't
worst
know if
enemy.
he should be as sad as he is. He just chooses to be
He is very much like not
fulfilled.
fulfilled. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
That's why he's got to drink.
And he drinks. He drinks heavily. And he does love wine, but he does drink heavily.
It's like an excuse to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Because I'm super smart at wine, I get to drink it way too much.
Actually, I don't think you've seen The Big Sick yet.
I have not.
There's a moment in there where they're talking about like how I drank so much, but if you know a lot about wine, you can drink more.
So this
And
is already a bit. All right.
kind of, yeah. But
I started it the other day, but I just couldn't fucking watch TV.
yeah, I get it.
I was like, I'm sick.
I'm
I
not
could
ready
watch
for
The Big
this.
Sick.
I am the Big Sick right now.
I am the big sick motherfucker, so I'm gonna watch you right now. But I couldn't.
Yeah.
The room was too spinny.
Gotta take your medication.
Take your medication.
Get the flu shot next year, people. Just do it.
Yeah. If you've learned anything from us reviewing Sideways, get the flu shot next year.
Also, Game of Thrones glasses. We'll link it in the bio.
Just don't put them in your dishwasher like Daniel did.
Hey,
It's only because he's the one that does
you
dishes.
can't shit on me when I do all the dishes. You asshole.
I gave it to you.
Born into brothels. That's what people who liked this also liked. Born into brothels.
The fuck is Born into Brothels?
Calcutta's Red Light Kids.
I don't think we need to watch that one.
All
Or is
right.
that a book?
It's a documentary from 2004.
I'm good.
Next week. Should we get in some questions?
Fuck it, let's do it. I don't even know what I've said about this film. I've felt a lot of things, but I don't know what we
Forgotten,
really
too.
said.
Yeah, we've said some shit.
We've said some shit.
We got there. We got deep.
Yeah, let's go to the questions,
You were
man.
very into the what do you call that? Like what do you call that stuff that means something else but it's not what it is?
The symbolism.
Thank you. And thanks Josh Sellers for helping me to forget that.
It's just a fucking Alexander Payne thing to do, man.
Hey,
He's
man.
all about it. He's all about subtlety.
Hey, Alexander, way to go with the symbolism,
Dude, like even every apartment complex looked the same. They look like the same type of thing, both with that double stairs. I don't know what it means. Does it mean like he has two paths? He can't fucking pick. He's just indecisive. I don't know. I just felt like everything meant more because there wasn't a lot happening.
You know, maybe that's true.
Or maybe I'm crazy.
Or maybe they just had a location and they filmed there.
All three of them had to look like that, though.
No, you're right.
They had $16 million. They fucking cared about where they shot
That's
it.
true. And it was just up the coast. All right, let's just do some questions.
Yeah. So, Daniel, what was your favorite line or moment?
It was the scene between Miles and Maya on the porch at Stephanie's house.
The Pinot Noir scene.
The Pinot Noir scene.
Okay.
As it was formerly called.
I think it's on YouTube. If you like don't know this movie, you can probably find that.
Yeah, you
scene
probably
on
find the
YouTube.
scene. It's a great scene. It's when they both talk about wine, both Maya and Miles, and they talk about it so beautifully, and it makes me like rethink alcohol. Like it's just so interesting the way that they come about it, and they also they ask the question, "How did you get into wine?"
Mm-hmm.
Which is such an interesting question to me because it's like,
Is it?
how did you get into drinking? You know, like.
Well, I
yeah,
guess it's more like, well, how did you go
21
from just drinking as
to
a
getting into
thing?
wine, like as a hobby,
Yeah.
as like it's a passion for these people, and it's something I envy because I don't know shit about wine. Maybe I will someday. I don't know.
It seems like it's something you have to have a palate for, though. Like
Yeah,
you may
I think
not,
there is a palate
You may
thing.
not be able to be a fan of wine like some people.
Yeah, I actually Pinot Noir is my favorite thing to drink. My favorite type of wine to drink. It's not super sweet and it's not super soft. It's kind of like bitter. It's got this bitter light quality to it.
This
I don't
sounds
know.
just like the scene too. So beautiful. It's
Yeah.
got this bitter.
It does. I don't know. Yeah, I used to like Cabernet Sauvignon when I was a little younger.
I love in the film when he's like, "I'm not drinking fucking Merlot."
Yes.
I just.
You know what I also love?
I wonder what happened the night he drank too much Merlot, man.
You know what I also loved? I laughed so hard was when he finds out that his ex-wife is remarried.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he takes the bottle, he's running down the hill, chugging the bottle of wine, and
like a little
Jack's
kid.
just chasing after him.
Yeah. So fucking ridiculous. What are you doing?
It's ridiculous.
Who can run down a hill
And drink a
not
bottle of
fall,
wine?
and be drinking? It just seems so not intuitive.
Anyway, I did love that scene. I loved Miles's talk about the Pinot Noir, and I loved the way that Maya talked about.
What did they say?
Well-
what was it? What was the line that really resonated with you there?
I don't remember a specific line. It was the way that he talked, the way that Miles talked about the Pinot Noir, how it's grown, like how
has to be,
someone
like, cold
it has to be
and-
cared for.
Yeah.
You know, someone who cares for it has to do this.
Yeah, it doesn't just thrive, I think he says.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and that's why he likes that wine, is because it's difficult and it takes care, and so it's made with care. in
Isn't
a
that
weird
just
way.
like another long way of saying he's a fucking hipster?
Maybe
It's just like a fucking asshole
I
about
think
wine.
hipsters like beer.
Sure. But in the 90s and early 2000s, maybe they
like
didn't.
wine. Maybe.
Seattle wasn't hip yet.
That's true. And then what she said was more about the idea, like
Because
how
she's going back to school, right?
yeah,
Because she
she's
wants
going
to
back
actually
school
get
to
into
horticulture,
She wants to like
Yeah.
make wine.
make wine, or yeah. She doesn't really exactly say, but it seems like that's it.
Yeah.
And horticulture, and she's talking more about the way that wine brings people together, the way that what wine does to you.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The moments that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
on wine. You know, she's kind of talking about the communal aspect of
Yeah,
wine,
yeah.
which is a beautiful thing. And really, to think about it, I mean, wine has been around a long time. It's an ancient tradition.
Yeah.
It probably tastes a lot better now. I would imagine this $15 Josh Sellers I got at Trader Joe's
Yeah.
is better than anything that was around 2,000 years ago. That's my guess. I don't know.
Just maybe.
Maybe.
We got sugar now.
I'm not shitting on Josh. I'm just saying maybe it's better than that.
It's interesting though too, because like he's so that person that wants to be social about wine and just talk about it with everybody that loves it, and he doesn't have anybody like that in his life. He's looking for that, and literally she's putting it out there on Front Street, like, let's go hang out with people and talk about wine.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck.
He doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize like that's why he doesn't do anything when she grabs his hand. It's so fucking overwhelming.
Yeah.
That he's like,
she
why?
has this sense of wine that even his ex-wife didn't have.
Yeah.
And it is truly his biggest passion.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful scene. It really is a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your favorite liner moment?
My favorite moment, just because it felt not out of place, it's when they have to go and steal back Jack's wallet from the waitress's house when he fucked that waitress.
I love that scene.
It feels like a
Love
Coen
that
Brothers
scene.
and for a second. Like a little bit of Lebowski. And he's just like going in. There's even that snap zoom on the fucking wallet in the middle of the room. And he has to grab it while the two are fucking. I don't know. That scene's just incredible. It's a weird little heist.
And then that like just guy with his dick swing is chasing him down the street.
One of the best dick scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I love when a film commits to a dick scene. It's just like, yeah, dicks are fucking awful. Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
If you'd like to see a flaccid dick,
I do.
Watch Sideways.
It's better.
It's Sideways or Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Sideways.
Those are the two great dick scenes in the world.
So if you like your dick, watch them Sideways.
Eat it too.
What'd you think of the soundtrack?
I actually I didn't always notice it, but in those little vignettes, like I was talking about earlier, there was really cool music.
Comedic effect.
Comedic effect, but there was a really beautiful acoustic guitar sound that happened around when he was in like a good place with Maya. When Miles and Maya finally hooked up, they had this like, great moment before it was all ruined.
Gotcha.
So that was one thing I just felt very warm in that scene. I thought the music was perfectly tied to the moment.
I don't even remember it, but that's probably good though. I wasn't paying attention as much. It just fit the moment, and I was watching the movie.
Exactly. Anything stick out to you? Nah. Okay.
It was fine. I think it worked well in the comedic scenes.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is Oscar weekend. I'm going to give you an opportunity to give an Oscar this year. But for this film.
I think he has some.
Who?
Paul Giamatti, man.
You're going to give it to Paul Giamatti?
Dude, like,
He's wonderful.
I could give it to Virginia just because, like, she's really wonderful in the film as well.
She is.
She's so intoxicating to watch in this film. Just so sweet and wonderful.
Yeah.
Her performance. But I really think every time I watch this guy, I'm always reminded of why he's great. I always go, why the fuck does everyone love this fucking actor?
Mm-hmm.
He does something in moments that most people are afraid to do, or maybe he's doing things that I see in myself or I relate to. I don't know, but they're so incredibly beautiful. Every little flutter that he puts in a scene. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it in this.
He is
without him, this is a really
actor.
like Sunday movie to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I kind of thought the obvious choice was to go for Paul.
It definitely
obviously.
is.
And I don't know. I really love Thomas Hayden Church in this movie. Yeah. I just
fucking Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
I don't think there's anything else kind of more. He was perfect for this part.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a amazing actor.
Is he the bad guy in George of the Jungle?
I don't know. He looks like he could be. He's so charming in this movie. He's so likable. He has this real moment breakdown when he like realizes he needs to be with his wife and he doesn't. Like he has some problems.
Oh, really?
You know?
I definitely find that scene to be beautiful.
Yeah.
The way he breaks down. And yes, he is the bad guy from George of the Jungle.
Wow. Big pull.
But I actually saw that moment as so desperation because he's a survivor. That's what he does. He will do anything. I feel like he's going to cheat on his wife in a couple months.
Oh, I absolutely think he's going to cheat on his wife in a couple months. But I think that's the moment where he realizes how good he's got it. He wanted to hook up with somebody. He wanted to have a last fling before his marriage. I don't think his marriage is going to last.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's not going to cheat on his wife. He's definitely going to cheat on his wife once he gets married to her.
Motherfucker.
But he has a moment with Stephanie where he's saying,
Like,
I
he
want to be
loves
with
her,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I love you. Like,
Isn't there? There's
and
a
that's
point
just-
where he's gonna fucking like open a winery just so him
he's
and Miles
talking
can
about
hang
it.
out up there.
Yeah, he's talking about it. He's not real. And what's
Yeah.
real is this relationship he has back home, and he realizes that she does understand him. He is committed to this thing.
Yeah.
And he does break down. I don't think it's like the best acting scene in the world. I just
No, but I'm super surprised by that moment.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
surprising.
Yeah.
And I just think he does a great job of playing this whole part. And so I'm going to give him his Oscar. We will send you that in the mail.
We're gonna send him in the mail.
He was actually
Paul,
nominated for an Oscar
Look for it
for this
What?
movie. He was nominated for an Oscar for this movie.
Paul was.
No, he was not.
Oh shit.
Thomas Hayden Church was, and so was Virginia Madsen.
I guess we have to put The Rock in this movie now.
We always
'cause
have to put The Rock in every
I don't know
movie.
why we do this now. I don't.
It's just traditions.
Let's just put him as the bartender. Let's keep it simple.
All right, that's fine with me.
He's just sort of like this central thing that's holding it all together. Because I don't want to get rid of anybody.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, he'd be a great bartender.
Why doesn't The Rock have a bar called The Rocks?
On the Rock.
Oh, but there's On the Rocks above the Roxy. So
Yeah, but that's on the ROX.
oh, so
On
he
the
so he
Rock.
could just be Rocks.
Maybe it's on the Rock.
It's just one fucking huge.
It's one.
It's not even an ice
It's
cube.
an ice cube shaped to him. Oh,
It's-
what is it?
It's not even an ice cube. It's just a fucking cold rock in your drink. We put it in an ice chest. It's fucking cold. The Rock.
A sign above the kitchen says, "Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?"
Is it buffalo wings?
I hope so. It better fucking be.
Which character would last the longest in a zombie apocalypse?
Sandra Oh or Stephanie. She beats the shit out of Thomas Hayden Church
Yeah.
for telling her she loved him. She's so
Yeah,
she
but it's a
rides
zombie
motorcycle.
apocalypse. Do you feel like that's really a
She
problem
beat
now?
the shit out of him with a helmet.
And he survived.
Imagine what she could do with a sword.
Imagine what his face could do if it could survive that.
Are you saying he would survive?
Oh,
once?
yeah.
Oh.
Remember the scene where he just drives the fucking car into the tree
Yeah.
because they need a background?
Right.
They need a backstory?
Yeah.
He'll do anything, man. He
will.
will survive.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's going to use his face to
I
smash
just-
back. He's
she-
going to break brains with his brain.
She's an emotional
Oh, yes.
fighter,
Mm-hmm.
which means when some zombies come attacking,
She's going to get overwhelmed, and they're going to get the better of her because she got overly emotional.
no, when she gets overly emotional, she kicks ass.
I know. Jack just fucking falls on the floor and cries.
She beat the shit. She could have killed him with her helmet.
I know. You might have changed my mind.
With her helmet.
It was like 7 times.
Yeah.
It was a brutal fucking
She
scene.
beat the shit out of him. What was your favorite my early 2000s moment?
The part that made me laugh so much was when they were out to dinner and he comes back. Miles is fucking wasted and he has just gone and drunk dialed his wife.
Yeah.
But what was so fucking weird is that it's a payphone the way that he does it. And Jack even refers to it as did you drink and dial?
Yeah.
And to know that that was a phrase for payphones and everything before it was like so accessible. It's so easy to accidentally drunk call somebody now or just text them or whatever. You had to be so fucking committed to be a drunk creep 10 years ago.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had the exact same thought when he said, "Did you drink and dial?"
Yeah.
I was like,
that doesn't,
wait,
no, that's the
that's-
wrong one.
I was like, was that a thing before 2010?
Well, I mean, I'm sure our parents called people
I just
drunk.
never thought about it.
Yeah, that they would
Like,
know.
it's so much more work.
So much. You have to pay the money up front.
Like, now I'm shocked. I have to claim this. I don't ever drink and text like in bad ways anymore. Ever. Not in years, but I used to.
Have you been divorced?
Not yet. Just kidding.
So there you go.
Yeah,
Maybe then we'll get back to the payphone drunk dials.
maybe payphones. They exist.
I don't think they exist anymore.
Honestly, my early 2000s moment was that moment too.
Yeah.
Because like that was the biggest thing that I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it wasn't that it was a payphone. It was just the fact
No,
that
not
the
the payphone.
phrase came with what
Yeah.
he did.
Because I was like, that's a new thing to me,
But it's not.
but it's not. He did it in
We're just young
2004. in Sideways.
whippersnappers.
We're young old whippersnappers.
Well, normally we rate this in beers, but since we've been drinking wine, how many glasses of wine are in a bottle, though?
Like around 4.
So maybe we should do a 4?
Yeah, let's do a 4.
So out of 4 glasses of wine,
So
what are
really-
you going to give this movie? It's either really good or really bad. I guess you only
Yeah,
got 4
you kinda
fucking
have-
glasses.
3.
All right, that's a safe bet.
I feel like if it would have been out of 10, I would have given it like 8.
We
So-
never do out of 10. Why are you doing 10? We usually
don't
do
know.
6.
It's like 3.2 glasses of wine.
3.2 glasses
80%.
of wine?
Give it a B. B+.
If it had been beers, what about that?
I'd probably give it a 5 because I like this
Okay.
movie a lot. I don't know. I love the writing and I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
What about you? Wine. Let's do
Yeah,
wine.
okay. We'll do 3 glasses of wine just to keep it classy. But I think it also would have been 3 glasses of beer. Or 3 bottles of beer, to
Well,
be
then it
honest.
should have been 2 glasses of wine. You
I
have
don't know,
to,
but that seems so...
because that's 50%.
You're right. Bad math.
It's math fractions.
I'm gonna give it 2 glasses of wine because I'm not satisfied with that ending. I like what
Okay.
it's doing. I know what it's doing, but it just feels like it starts where it begins, and
Yeah.
I'm not really given enough for having to go through all
I
of
feel
that.
like he's gonna drive up to Maya.
He does,
At
and
the
he
end.
knocks on the door.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
kind
the
of think
last,
it's gonna work out.
maybe, but
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't. Sure, the simplistic sort of like he's gonna get the girl aspect. I think yes, he's gonna get that. I just never got to see if it really was what he wanted, because he never got to actually have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's just gonna be like a stupid, depressed idiot still.
He might. Yeah, you're right about that. Actually.
And if he's just still not happy, and if it's never gonna be enough, or some things are enough. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the point was for him.
I totally get that.
Yeah. But I still
Uh,
liked it. I enjoyed it. I just have more questions.
I wish I had more answers for you. But I'm
Do
not
you have more
Alexander
wine
Payne.
for me?
Dude, I have some more wine.
Let's give it a try.
Josh has some more. You ready?
I might throw up, but let's see what happens. Oh my god. It's the fastest pour.
I'm the fastest
I have never seen another human literally pour the wine bottle 180 degrees upside down. Holy shit.
Hey, only one way to get the wine in your system. So what did you learn from this film, William?
I learned a lot about Alexander Payne's style, I think, and what he finds interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can turn something so small like that and make it incredibly dense with information.
Yeah.
Miles is just he's a very interesting character. He even talks like so poetically when he is just having a normal fucking conversation. I would have never thought to do it the way that they did it.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't learn a lot. It was just sort of like very interesting to digest,
Yeah.
because it's totally not the way I digest film usually.
Interesting.
What about you?
I think for me, it's about the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from the simplicity of this film. It kind of is a road trip film in a way.
Yeah.
It has a totally different second
It
part.
almost feels like Harold and Kumar at the beginning. They're
Yeah,
just like
it's
stopping at
very-
all these stops.
It's a road trip film, you know? But it's got this like simple element. They take their time when they
Mhm.
need to. And because there's not a lot of like a big events happening that like transition the story, they really get to take their time. I think because you get that scene where they're talking about wine because of that. You know, it's not a big scene. There's nothing happening. I mean, a little bit. There's some sexual tension.
Yeah.
You know, but like, it's not crazy. They really do.
They earn the moment. I
They
think
earn the
that's
moment.
what's interesting about this film is
Yeah.
like every small moment that could just be whatever and glanced
Absolutely.
over, they really earn it.
They do. And that's because of like the way they build it up. They build it up slow. It doesn't ever get to like this breaking point
Mm-hmm.
like most films do.
Yeah,
But it doesn't. The intention does
except
increase.
for Jack's face.
Jack's face.
That hits
yeah.
a breaking point.
That's a breaking point. His nose is broken. I don't know. I learned a lot from that kind of storytelling that it's like so much less than what's typical.
Less
in a
is more,
movie.
man.
Yeah, but it is really in this movie. I think it's time.
For the
My Early Food Challenge.
I sound like Action Bronson now. I sound like a fucking bear. I'm so sick. All right. For some reason, we keep making popcorns and putting weird shits in them for this food challenge thing.
This food challenge is actually kind of a popcorn challenge.
Yeah, well, we started this because you had a a New Year's resolution where you wanted to cook more throughout the year.
I did.
And that devolved into, I could make a popcorn every time.
It was like, let's make a nice movie snack.
Yeah.
It makes more sense.
It does.
It makes more
we
sense.
Did like
Maybe
a
it won't
quesadilla,
always
like,
be
huge thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
So much.
Maybe it won't always be popcorn, but I feel like it kind of should be
Just snacks
until I run
related.
out of ideas.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what did you make this week?
We got a weird one.
Uh-huh.
We got a sideways popcorn.
No, I was sick, right?
I know you were sick.
I think I'm going to stay
Here's the deal.
sick.
Here's the deal. I wanted to make a sideways inspired popcorn. So
What's its name?
Sideways corn?
Okay. Sideways corn.
Because it's not traditional in any way, shape, or form. It is popcorn. Organic.
Is that a walnut? No, that's just a burnt popcorn.
It's not burnt. That is the balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh, it is soaking into the...
Yeah,
the
some of
popcorn.
the popcorn did soak in. So here's what I did. I cut up green grapes in half. I reduced them into a balsamic reduction. It was grapeseed oil and balsamic vinaigrette.
Grapeseed oil, you
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah. And then grapeseed oil. I didn't even realize
Just
that
so
until
much
you
grape.
just said it. And then I also put some feta cheese in there.
I don't think I
Sounded
got
delicious
any.
in my head.
I don't think I got any feta.
It's white, so you wouldn't see it.
I know what feta is.
I crumbled it, man.
How fucking tiny.
It'll look like popcorn.
I don't know.
Oh shit.
I think I'm feta out of it.
That actually is kind of working for me. I don't know. Your face is saying no.
I just don't know what it is. I didn't say no. I didn't say yes. I definitely didn't get any feta.
You want some? This grape with the popcorn is actually kind of cool.
I think you just like grapes, man. I think at the end of the day, you just like grapes with like salt on them.
Maybe. You don't like it?
I think the popcorn gets in the way of the... I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's really interesting. But you know what? I'm going to pair it with this Josh Sellers wine. Hold up.
How are they pairing?
Works.
Really?
Works.
Thanks for learning about wine with us this week.
Yeah,
on My
we'll be
Early
back to our
2000s.
normally scheduled beer.
Usually
next
I'm
time.
just getting a red blend. I don't know what it is. It's blended of all of them. It's probably Merlot.
We'll not drink another fucking Merlot.
I'm probably drinking Merlot, man. I don't know. But that's my early 2000s for this week.
If you liked this show, please subscribe to us in the Apple Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Or wherever.
We're now on Stitcher.
Oh, shit. Look
If
at us
you're a
go.
Stitcher user, we're there. And please feel free to leave us a comment or review, which helps us spread the word about this show.
And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram or Twitter at Splash Zone Media. That's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next time on My Early 2000s. And hopefully, I won't sound like a frog.
But I probably will because he probably got me sick. So cheers to that.
Fuck you.
Special cheers to grapes. Thanks for existing.
Thanks for fermenting.
Grapes and popcorn.
I like never eat grapes. Maybe that's why I'm enjoying it, because I never eat grapes. So I'm just like, grapes are good.
Oh, a fruit. Is this fruit?